Alright boys, how's it going? Tasty here, and today I'm going to be showing you ways to get MVP guaranteed in the hard mode Theater of Blood. And I gotta address the elephant in the room really quickly here. This has been by far my most requested video. Every single day I hear this, okay? I don't know why. I guarantee there is a maximum of 4 people watching this that are even good enough to do this content. Okay, but if you guys want to play pretend, all right, and you can go to your fairy tale world where you're not complete dog shit, I will help out if you like the video. Guys, my YouTube revenue is going down, and I have to make the next payment on my Tesla pretty soon, so please like the video. First things first, guys, we have to lay down a couple ground rules, all right? You might not expect this from me, but I hate this content. It's tedious, and it's overtuned, and they took literally every single fun thing about the raid, and they completely shit on it, just because they could. This is literally the Mormonism of RuneScape. There is one sweet redeeming factor, however, and that is that you can make your teammates suffer even more than you. Unlike normal TOB, where if your teammates are really good, there's not a lot that you can do to mess them up. In hard mode, your teammates have absolutely no way of hiding from your wrath. Second thing to cover, guys, I mentioned in the first MVP video that you should go download a client called Blue Light. Guess what? All right, GG accounts. Turns out that was a rat client. Stole all the information, so sit the fuck down, nerds. Nice try. You are going to have to learn everything the old-fashioned way without numbers on everything, okay? Or... all right, you can get access to Uncle Light. Now, Uncle Light is not actually a client. It's a chip made by Elon Musk that they implant into your brainstem. And the cool thing is that it actually comes with a bionic anime catgirl wife. She's real to me. Oh yeah, Tob. Let's move on to the gear setups, guys. Y'all know the drill. No hammers.
Remember, no
hammers. Okay, you are going to be the range role. Now, my reputation somewhat precedes me, so when I ask to Tob, people assume that I'm going to be the range role. There was this one time a guy tried to make me mage. He said he wasn't comfortable freezing, and frankly, I don't want to raid with a coward, so I reported him to RuneWatch and I photoshopped the picture of him ninjing a scythe. It's one less problem I got to deal with. Now, this is the gear that you guys want to bring in. I am bringing the Zuck Helm because I'm better than you, and it's an effective way to establish dominance without speaking a single word. You obviously don't have this, so bring a Serp Visage, okay? And yes, you do really want this many brews. This is by design, okay? If someone asks why you don't have a Dragon Warhammer, tell them you're BGSing. This doesn't make any sense, because you should always bring a Dragon Warhammer, but it's the perfect opportunity to practice the most important tool for this entire run. Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss. This is the gaslighting part, by the way. If they call you out on the BGS thing, just type this. LMFAO, do you not know the metas? Don't explain any further, okay? Just keep dropping question marks. This should confuse them long enough to get you into the raid. Now, this is bonus points. You guys don't have to do this, but if you have the top dust and the pet, okay, turn it into the little Nyla thing and bring it with you into the raid, okay? Trust me, your team is going to fall for it. They're fucking blind, and as far as I can see, they can't. Speaking of, guys, let's start out with Maiden here. Now, of course, you're never freezing. You're never using a Warhammer. This is well established. You're going to come in balls blazing and declaw immediately. However, only once, guys, okay? This is important because you are going to be skipping 30s. If you don't know what that means or your team is not planning on skipping 30s, I would recommend closing your client and downloading Valorant. Because like many Valorant pros, you just couldn't cut it in the first game that you tried. Now, this next part is pretty important, guys. Maiden is going to target with this priority, okay? Whoever is closest, whoever is most northeast, and whoever is higher in the ore border at the top of your screen. Now, this means that you always stand south of her and back up a couple tiles before she attacks to help ensure that you are not the one on the receiving end, okay? Next thing I'm going to say is a little bit controversial, okay? But when the crabs come out, you are going to want to chin the pile. I want to introduce you guys to something called delayed gratification, all right? Sometimes you need to give up something now to receive something a little better even later, all right? This is one of those cases. A proverbial slap and tickle, okay? The freezers are not going to be taking MVP, I can guarantee that, and the idea is to get the leech melee to be tanking all of the damage, all right? Wasting their supplies. We will exploit this later. The room should go as normal, okay, for the most part. If you want to get a little spicy, you can step on one of the blood puddles and try and spawn more bloods. It's not good for you, but it does help with the overall goal of sowing discord and chaos among your ranks. Now, if your team complains about this, tell them that the real tobbers that you raid with have no issues dealing with it. Gaslight, Gatekeep, Girl Boss. Bloat's a fun one. This room is literally a human rights violation, okay? You guys know how the U.S. Army will go to your local mall and they'll recruit the fresh high school graduates with no prospects, okay? They'll like lie to them about how cool, drone technology is, and eventually they'll get them to go turn little Palestinian kids into skeletons. I have a theory that Jagex does the same thing, except they recruit kids to control the fucking bloat hands, okay? And put them in the most inconvenient locations, dude. Either way, it's some pimply teenager committing a war crime on the other side of the globe with zero accountability. I don't like this room. I don't like any room in this raid. I digress. This one's pretty easy, boys. Fly your teammates as much as possible, okay? This is why you brought your brews. Also, you should be using thralls this entire time. In this room specifically, it's not that much about damage. It's just really good at hiding the shadows of the incoming hands, so might be able to get a little sneak attack on your enemies. Sorry, teammates. Last but not least, okay, you're not always going to be getting a 2-down in this room. If you sense it coming where it seems unlikely that you'll get the 2-down, here's a neat little trick, all right? Spam at your team to stay. If you're in voice chat, yell at them if you have to. Make sure they commit to this 2-down. Now, it's not going to happen because, you're not going to be DPSing. And right before he stomps, you're going to want to yeet out of there, okay? Hopefully this will kill your whole team. If it doesn't, give them a little bit of fly love. That should take care of the rest of them, okay? If you pull this off successfully and complete the room, guaranteed MVP. Beautiful. Nyla Kiss, all right? In normal mode, this is one of the most fine-tuned and rewarding encounters to learn, truly. There's a plethora of information, so in-depth and it's so tactical that it blew my mind when I learned how deep this room goes. And the boss itself is wicked fun with all the switches and stuff you get to do. It's pretty cool. In hard mode, I would rather be framed for murder. This room is miserable. Okay. The good thing is that the waves count for 0 MVP points, so use this time to commit psyops, guys. Do not attack the demi bosses at all. It's your teammates' problems. Flame the major because they're always the most sensitive. I don't know why. I would say try to start an argument or something with the leech melee roll, but whoever does that roll typically tends to have a room temperature IQ, and it would only serve to drag you down. Now, the boss, however, is great for you because as the ranger, you get the honor of being the only person who can stand still, okay? The best part about this is that your teammates are just going to die anyway, right? Because this boss is horseshit. If you want to get funky fresh, guys, you can randomly move one tile away or like step onto the boss, try and make the boss, move a little bit. So that way your teammates can't just go to the same tiles every time when they got a split and they'll get confused and they'll probably die. Now, on to Soda Seg. Okay, once again, they ruined some of my favorite tactics here. You can no longer one-tick the maze as they have separated it into several portions, depending on how many players you have. And if you can see the whole maze, you're a naughty, naughty boy. But you can still get a little bit weird, guys. If you were the player up top, all right, and you have the bruise for it, you can just run all the way across, all right? Your teammates will be left down below very confused as to why the maze has disappeared, and you'll be up top getting damage. Fun fact as well, if you manage to get a death ball where your teammates are down below, okay, one of them will be targeted with an invisible death ball, and it will almost always kill them when they get back up to the top. It's hard to set up, but it is very rewarding. Now, other tips: pretend to stack on your teammates during the death ball. Leave immediately. This is elementary stuff, guys. Stand on top of your teammates when the range and mage attacks are coming so no one knows whose is whose, okay? Just let it rip, man. Just go wild in the stream. If you guys have any good suggestions for how to troll your teammates on this one, please, for the love of God, drop them down in the comments below. Maybe one day I'll go attempt to ruin people's day in 416 with them. Now on to Zarpus, okay? I love Zarpus, all right? I admit it, okay? This is the only room in the raid that I legitimately enjoy because somehow they have managed to make the hard mode version easier than the normal mode version. The first phase, less surface area to cover, so the exhumes are easier to reach. In phase 2, you should be meleeing anyway. There is no space for cowardice. And in phase 3, I don't know how they thought this would be more challenging. They made it so whenever you attack Zarpus, he immediately will turn to you the next tick. But if someone attacks him, before your next attack, he'll just face that person, so you're free to attack again. So teams will essentially just all attack on different ticks. And Zarpus will just keep spinning around like a 14-year-old pretending to be drunk off of one sip of beer his friend stole from a 7-Eleven. Yes, that is a real story, and yes, that was me. Now, this gives us quite the opportunity, okay? Look around. Find the teammate attacking right after you. All right, next rotation. Oops, what's that? Uh-oh. Bit of a misclick. You stood under him, and you attacked right before they did. All right? Oh, no. You accidentally murdered them. Rinse and repeat. Now, finally, la pièce de résistance. Versic. If you're wiping anywhere, it's going to be here, guys. This is once again where delayed gratification comes in. You're going to have to know when to give so that later on you may take. Remember that, all right? Phase 1, I hate to say it, guys. You got to do this one right. At this point, you're going to be so sick of the raid that you'll be okay with this. Don't worry, Phase 2 has plenty of sabotage opportunities. For starters, flame your teammates for having range fair on, okay? Never take yours off. You'll probably die. But try to get them to take theirs off so that they die, okay? Where the cupcakes are getting thrown, try to anticipate where your teammate's going to go next tile. Rag that tile, okay? Take everything away from him. Drag the crabs over your teammates, and of course, never pop the purple crab, all right? Never. Not worth it. DPS waste. Now, phase 3, all right? Take this opportunity to go around and pick up all the potions that your teammates have dropped, all right? They don't need them. On webs, try this fun little trick, okay? You can't rag too hard here, because you really do need the DPS, all right? But go 2 tiles out from where you normally attack, all right? And you will be dragged in on time to stay in cycle, but it will look like you are not. The weaker members will become afraid and hopefully leave, effectively thinning the herd like the apex predator that you are. If you really want to be an asshole, most teams wait to proc the tornadoes until after the yellows. Fucking proc them, dude. Who gives a shit? If you want, you could try to steal your teammates' yellows, but this is a very risky strat. It could very well kill both of you, which is not good. You need those MVP points, baby. All right. From this point, though, all you got to do is walk it home. If you follow every single piece of advice I have given here, you're guaranteed to get MVP. Okay. Did you get a purple? No, of course not. But you established dominance and got blacklisted from another cringe PVM clan. All right. As far as I'm concerned, this is victories all around. Thank you for watching, guys. Try this out. Seriously, try it, coward. You won't. And let me know how it goes. And remember, stay tasty.
Don't even think for a second, nigga, you might need a moment. You were only given one shot like a buzzer beater, but you stoned it. Brick house, brick house, brick house, brick house. 11 bricks at the studio, here's a brick on the house, here's a brick on the house. Yeah, you know they're coming quick, just like SWAT in the drug bust, but I'm slick, bitch, call me Rick.